Ever had a neighbor make your life hell? When security guards started showing up at my peaceful lake cabin every weekend, I discovered a shocking scheme. The Homeowners Association wanted my land. Instead of giving in, I fought back and walked away with $40,000 in sweet justice. Before watching full video, comment below from where you watching. Also like and subscribe for more stories. The first time I saw the security guard standing on my dock, I thought it was a mistake. I had just arrived at my lake cabin on Friday evening after a long week at work, ready for some peace and quiet. But there he was, a stern-faced man in a black uniform with Pinecrest Owners Association embroidered on his chest, telling me I was violating community rules. "Sir, you need to turn your music down and move your boat to the designated area," he said, pointing to my small radio playing soft jazz and my old fishing boat tied to my own private dock. "This is my property," I replied, confused. "I've owned this cabin for 15 years. The guard looked at his clipboard. "Mr. Reynolds? Daniel Reynolds?" "Yes, that's me. The association has received complaints about noise and improper boat storage." "I'm just doing my job, sir." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. My nearest neighbor was half a mile away, and my boat was exactly where it had always been, on my dock, which was built with proper permits years ago. Something wasn't right. After the guard left, I called Sarah Jenkins, the head of the Pinecrest Owners Association, HOA. "Oh, Daniel," she said with a sigh that sounded rehearsed. "We've updated our community guidelines. Didn't you get the email? All boats must be stored at the community marina on weekends, and outdoor music is prohibited after 7 p.m. "Sarah, that's ridiculous. My deed gives me riparian rights. And my music couldn't possibly bother anyone. My closest neighbor is Tom, and he's practically deaf. Rules are rules, Daniel. I suggest you comply or face fines." I hung up, my blood boiling. This was my sanctuary, my escape from the city. I'd worked hard to afford this place, and now some power-hungry association was trying to control how I enjoyed it. The next weekend, the same guard showed up, this time with a citation for $150 for continued violations. The weekend after that, there were 2 guards. They took photos of my property and informed me that the POA would be increasing my fines. This harassment continued for 6 straight weekends. I tried reasoning with Sarah and the POA board, but my emails went unanswered. When I attended their monthly meeting, they limited public comments to 2 minutes and cut my microphone when I mentioned pursuing legal action. It was during the 7th weekend that I discovered the truth. My neighbor Tom, who rarely left his cabin, came over with a plate of cookies and some interesting information. "Danny, I hate seeing what they're doing to you," he said as we sat on my porch. "It's not right, especially considering why they're really doing it." "What do you mean?" I asked. Tom leaned forward. "Sarah's brother-in-law just started a new security company. Guess who got the exclusive contract to patrol Pinecrest? And at double the rate of the previous company." I nearly choked on my cookie. "Are you serious?" "Dead serious. And there's more. The board passed a resolution to develop the eastern shoreline where your cabin is into a community area. They're trying to pressure you into selling." Everything clicked into place. The harassment, the arbitrary rules, the sudden enforcement, it was all designed to make my life miserable so I'd give up and sell my property. "Not going to happen," I said. The next Monday, I called my cousin Jennifer, an attorney specializing in property law. After hearing my story and reviewing my deed, property records, and the POA's bylaws, she was confident we had a case. "They're overstepping their authority," she explained. "Your property deed predates many of their regulations, and they've failed to follow proper procedures for rule changes. Plus, targeting you specifically could constitute harassment." Jennifer helped me document everything, taking videos when the guard showed up, recording our interactions, collecting the citations, and saving all correspondence with the POA. We gathered statements from neighbors like Tom who had witnessed the selective enforcement. 3 months after the harassment began, we filed a lawsuit against the Pinecrest Owners Association for harassment, selective enforcement, abuse of power, and violation of property rights. We also requested an injunction to prevent them from continuing their campaign against me while the case proceeded. The judge granted our injunction, but the POA didn't back down. They hired an expensive law firm and countersued, claiming I had violated multiple community guidelines and owed thousands in unpaid fines. The legal battle dragged on for months. It was stressful and expensive, but I refused to give in. This wasn't just about my cabin anymore, it was about standing up to bullies who abused their power. The turning point came when Jennifer subpoenaed the POA's financial records and meeting minutes. What we found was shocking. Sarah had indeed given her brother-in-law's security company a contract without competitive bidding, a clear violation of the POA's own bylaws. There were also emails discussing how to make Reynolds so miserable he'll sell cheap. When these documents became part of the public record, other Pinecrest homeowners were furious. They began showing up at board meetings demanding explanations. Some even joined my lawsuit as co-plaintiffs. The case never made it to trial. Facing mounting pressure from homeowners and damning evidence, the POA agreed to settle. The terms were everything I'd hoped for. They would pay me $40,000 in damages, remove all citations from my record, issue a public apology, and most importantly, amend their bylaws to limit their power over pre-existing properties like mine. Sarah and 2 other board members resigned in disgrace. The contract with her brother-in-law's security company was terminated. The new board, which included my neighbor Tom, adopted transparency measures to prevent such abuses in the future. The first weekend after the settlement, I sat on my dock with my fishing pole, soft jazz playing on my radio, and my boat tied up right where it belonged. No guards interrupted my peace. Instead, several neighbors stopped by to congratulate me and thank me for standing up for all homeowners' rights. You know, Tom said as he joined me for a sunset beer, what you did took guts. Most people would have sold or just paid the fines. I couldn't let them win, I replied. This place means too much to me. Well, you did good, Danny. You did good for all of us. As the sun set over the lake, painting the water gold and crimson, I felt a deep satisfaction. My cabin was once again my sanctuary, and I had helped ensure it would stay that way not just for me, but for all the homeowners at Pinecrest. The $40,000 settlement was nice, it covered my legal fees and then some, but the real victory was in standing up for what was right. I invested some of the remaining money in improving my dock and boat, symbols of the property rights I had fought to protect. Word of my victory spread to neighboring lake communities. I soon received calls from other homeowners facing similar issues with their associations. I connected them with Jennifer and shared my documentation to help them build their cases. Sarah tried to start fresh at another lake community, running for their board as well. When the story of what she'd done at Pinecrest made the local paper, her campaign ended immediately. A year later, I was elected to the Pinecrest POA board. My platform was simple: protect homeowners' rights, ensure transparency, and maintain the natural beauty of our lake community without unnecessary restrictions. Now, 3 years after that first confrontation on my dock, Pinecrest is a different place. Our community is stronger because homeowners know their rights are protected. The security team, hired through a proper bidding process, focuses on actual safety concerns rather than harassing residents. Sometimes I think about how close I came to giving up my beloved cabin. If I had sold under pressure, I would have lost not just a property, but a part of myself. The part that finds peace in the gentle lapping of waves against the shore and comfort in knowing that some things can't be taken away if you're willing to fight for them. As for that $40,000 settlement? Beyond fixing up my property, I used part of it to establish a legal fund for Pinecrest homeowners who might need to defend their rights in the future. It's my way of ensuring that what happened to me never happens to anyone else in our community. The plaque on the community boathouse says it best: the rights we fail to defend are the rights we lose. Every time I pass it on my way to my dock, I smile, knowing that my small stand against injustice made a lasting difference. My lake cabin isn't just a weekend getaway anymore. It's a reminder that standing up for what's right, even when it's difficult, even when you're alone, is always worth it in the end.